Okay, welcome. Um, Looks like we have a 1406. I'm not gonna read it out for the recording, but who's the phone? I think it might be Carolee. All right, so let's just start with a quick little dropping in together. Just taking a few deep, slow inhales and exhales. As if you could breathe through the bottoms of your feet. Resting, relaxing, unwinding. Allowing the energies of the earth to rise and meet your feet. Grounding any excess energy in the nervous system. And opening to the energies of source, however you feel connected to this. Allowing the energy of source to pour into your body. Filling every cell of your being with unconditional love and light. Just resting, relaxing, unwinding. And just some downloads. Downloading for you across all dimensions, time and space. Past, present, and future. In all languages that you speak or have spoken. I know what it feels like to breathe deeply. I know how to breathe deeply. I know how to breathe fully. I know what it feels like to breathe fully. The Creator's Truth definition and value of breathing fully from the highest perspective. It's commanding and requesting that your soul's connection to Source fill your body with the intelligence, the love, and the relaxation of your unique frequency of breath. Show me. There is a lot of activation in the field past couple weeks. A lot of things occurring. Just becoming aware of the sensitivity of our bodies to solar activity. Frequencies of light coming into the planet. I'm currently moving through pretty large influx of that. Allowing the breath to rest, relax, and unwind any tension in the body. Commanding and requesting that any unhealthy energies be pulled, released, sent back to God's light and replaced with unconditional love. Commanding and requesting that all aspects of energetic anatomy responsible for receiving, transmitting, accessing, and perceiving diamond consciousness, the upgraded, expanded, and further activated now in direct accordance to your soul's connection to source. Thank you, show me. And from here, noticing any place in your body in particular could use a little bit extra love right now. any parts that feel strained, tense, dense. And just placing your hands there, or if that's difficult for you right now, just bringing that fully into your awareness. And just saying to yourself or out loud is commanded and requested. That diamond healing consciousness be given to these parts of my body now. Thank you, show me. Just witnessing. Commanding and requesting that all feelings, sensations, understandings, perspectives, perceptions related to feeling, living without support, without energy, without guidance, be pulled, cleared, canceled, and sent back to God's light and replaced with your soul's highest, best, and healthiest understandings, perspectives, and perceptions, this time and related to each of these issues. And downloading for you that you know what it feels like to be supported, that you know how to be supported, that it's possible to be supported, that you live your daily life feeling supported, that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of being supported from the highest perspective, that you know how to support yourself, when to support yourself, what it feels like to support yourself, that it's possible and that you do this on a daily basis, and that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of supporting yourself from the highest perspective. that you are worthy of support, that you have source's truth, definition, and value of being worthy of support, that you know how to be worthy of support, when to be worthy of support, that it's possible to be worthy of support, that you are worthy of support, and that you live your daily life worthy of support. It's commanding and requesting that the energy of worthiness, support, strength, vitality be downloaded to each and every vertebrae, each and every bone, and throughout and within every joint. In your entire body now. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. Commanding and requesting that all beliefs, ideas, understandings, perspectives, perceptions related or associated to feeling overwhelmed by life, feeling ran over by life, drowning in despair, falling behind, and all judgments, projections, and dissociations related or associated to belittling oneself, ridiculing oneself, and cursing oneself in all known or unknown discovered or undiscovered ways in which this is operating on any level within your being, from physical to ethereal. Be pulled, released, cleared, and sent back to the light, and replaced with your soul's direct connection to source's understanding, perception, perspective, and realization that fulfills your soul's requirements at this time to complete each of these chapters in the highest, best, and healthiest way. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. Just speaking this out loud to yourself. It is commanded and requested that all the grief, sorrow, and sadness about no longer being who I once was or who I imagined against myself, who I thought I would or should be fully released, transformed, sent back to the light, and replaced with my soul's highest, best, and healthiest realizations of the love, perfection, and wholeness that I already am now. Thank you, show me, and witness. I'm just downloading across all dimensions, time and space, past, present, and future, in all languages that you speak or spoken, and just affirming this within yourself. I acknowledge that I no longer have to experience density as my own in order to affirm that I'm a healer, that I can heal, or to know what needs to be healed. I acknowledge that I am resolution embodying through a karmic template that I chose to incarnate through to transform into the pure radiance, power, and love that I am now. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. Just witnessing the imprinting. Leave your body. Asking that any remaining shame in the body be pulled, released, cleansed, cleared, sent back to God's light. And replaced with your soul's direct connection to Source's understanding of perfection in all things, of forgiveness, and of harmony with all aspects and all parts of yourself in the highest, best, and healthiest way. And before closing out any session like this with yourself or a client, taking yourself back to the 0 point. It is commanded and requested that I am taken to the 0 point field of my connection to Source or Source within. Or just take me to the 0 point. Grounding. Just creating a sense of separation between yourself and what just occurred, just breaking energy. You can do that through a visualization, just separating yourself. Once you feel cleared, grounded, centered, coming back to space. And as you're ready, just opening it up to any questions. I'd love to hear how your hate letters went. Kind of anything at all, but definitely anything from last class that would like greater clarification, or your homework. How did that go? How did this experience go? Whatever of those things feels good right now. Some of you are still coming back, so yeah, just being mindful right now. I was telling my friend last night that I was like, dude, I don't know what exactly is going to happen in this class, but it's a lot of density that we're moving through right now. So if you've been feeling really heavy or just overwhelmed by life right now, like that's completely normal. And especially when we're active in a series like this. Part of the reason I have it separated by 2 weeks is because the potency of what we're doing in each of these classes is invoking, shifting, and moving a lot of energy in a very short period of time. And like I said, you can miraculously shift something by commanding the physical to transform to its original form. But right after that, you're going to experience a lot of deep emotional and even physical shifts and changes that are extremely painful. So there's more ease, there's more grace when we're doing things more slowly, like we're doing right now. And if you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, again, thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved, but also show me how to process or assist me in processing this feeling, this experience in a more efficient manner. In dia-gnosis, day 1, we're learning that a diagnosis literally means to go through a hall of spiritual mysteries that you will soon have knowledge of. And today, Pathofgenesis, path of Genesis, is about how we begin that journey. So remember, if there's any frustration about where you are and your experience in life right now and any health issue that you're facing, the most important thing that we can do is relax, come to the 0 point, ask to be taken to the 0 point if that's really difficult for us. But the most important thing as you're moving into the beginning of your path of Genesis, path of beginning, is that you're not in this alone and you have support and you are supported. Sometimes we feel a lot of shame about getting support, asking for the support that we need. But part of understanding self-love, aloha ma, is understanding that others providing support to you is just another form of self-love. That other beings supporting you is self-love. They are yourself. Diamond consciousness. I am us. We're moving into, there's so much going on energetically right now. And it's not necessarily important that we consciously understand everything that's occurring. But one of the most massive shifts that's occurring right now is us moving from an individuated point of consciousness into a collective consciousness. And if you're not experiencing that, it's not less than or more than. It is being experienced on all levels, whether it's conscious, subconscious. We're all moving into this greater understanding of our connection to all life. And that's honestly how, by the end of this class, you'll be able to transmute infections quite easily. Transmute all kinds of things in your life, because you recognize that it is your consciousness that is moving, acting, being, doing, seeing, feeling, knowing through all of it. But knowing, and we're going to do more about this later. Actually, need to write this down. This is new to me right now. Your connection to God is and will continue to be more and more important every single day as we go through these transitions. The more that you try and rely on yourself and the old model of power, feeling empowered, feeling spiritual or connected to God in the old ways of doing that, basically by proving oneself, the more that you're going to feel shame, doubt, distrust of the process. The more that you stay in prayer, in connection to life, the more electrifying, ecstatic, joyful it will be, simultaneously feeling all the sorrow, the grief, and the sadness that comes, that pulls away all the old layers of identity that allow you to move forward into this next part of your life. So it's important to remember what sadness, grief, and sorrow really are all about at the core, and not that it's wrong to feel them, but that at the core they are wishing for less than what they are destined to receive. So understanding that when you're feeling sadness, don't stop it, don't try and change it or move it away from you in any way. It's not necessary. But understanding like, oh, I'm just wishing for less than what I'm destined to receive. I'm missing something. But think about that languaging. We're missing something. Something is without us. But the sadness in it is in part is like a completion. The grief of that is a completion. But sadness is also wishing for that, which is less than what I'm destined to receive going forward. So no matter what life takes away from you, it can only steal an identification with what you thought was your highest timeline. But so much of that can be resolved by this communication, communion with divinity that you are. You have the answer within you. The answer is God's love, that you are. But that love can formulate itself into all forms of answers that soothe and clarify whatever you're going through. At one point, it was quite clear that this person had cancer. Or so that would what it would appear to be. And we asked, what is this doing here? I'm not going to assume that this has some sort of evil plot to take over my life. And this is what was said. Show me what the purpose of this is. Why are you here? And this person's cancer responded that it was there protecting the body from toxins. And the particular type of cancer that they had there was all kinds of other research that was discovered about how the body does, in fact, protect itself by encapsulating toxins in the body. And so they entirely trusted that that's what the body was doing. And the pathogenesis of a dis-ease ceased. I'm not recommending anyone do that for anything in particular. But there's a certain point in your life when, or in a client's life, where these things occur and you're going to have to trust beyond anything that you've ever trusted before. But if you develop that clear connection with God, with source, with love, love to me is like a step down from God, not necessarily like God isn't love, but love, like God sometimes is, we think of love as like all comforting and stuff, and sometimes that's not God. God in the end doesn't necessarily care about our comfort. It cares about our integration, expansion, and embodiment as souls. And sometimes life brings through experiences designed to stop us from going down a particular path that's outdated for us. The soul already knows that. I was talking to a client about this yesterday, dealing with a lot of sexual energy in their life, in their development, and ended up having an experience legally. And this whole issue is designed to facilitate the maturation of that aspect of their being, not because they're wrong, but because they're moving into more of what's right for them now. So that's part of shame. It's like the architecture of shame is so much of what we're dissolving today, because what is really shame? Again, if you've taken Anatomy of Awakening with me, you know that presence is that which receives value from everything regardless. It is in the gut, the na'au. It's a Hawaiian word. And your gut intelligence, which is where original innocence resides, this is where we begin life in and at. Your baseline, which you can never be removed from, is original innocence. Through our conditioning process, we go through a feeling, a sense, a distorted knowing of, I am wrong, this is wrong, there is wrongness, something is wrong, this shouldn't have happened, I am bad. There's all sorts of these beliefs. From there, there's shame, guilt, blame. That's the basis for imbalance in the body. If you're at like it's funny, it's just going, if you're at a shooting range and you know you're trying to shoot the little clay pigeon things. Sorry, I grew up in Oregon. And you're like 1 degree off here, multiply that by 1,000 feet and you're way off. So we have to be precise at the core. And life wants you to facilitate that precision by a direct connection to the angels, to God, to source, to universe, to life, whatever you want to call it. But ensuring that that's where you start first. And we basically fine tune and refine our vibration by constantly adjusting what feels good or doesn't feel good to us. Instead of trying to be good, we are goodness, just figuring out what is better for us at this time. Regret is just the energy of looking at what was that could have been different and misperceiving the value of the one who's already been transformed by that experience. If you had not already transformed, there would be no way that you could even see what could be different, because you would be so close to that same version of you that there wouldn't be enough consciousness for you to have perspective on that. So when we're regretting something, we're just misperceiving the information and that's coming in from that experience and taking it through the victim lens, the victim consciousness of the victim is that which can only subtract from your experience. It can only perceive subtractions from value of you, the world, or others around you. So if presence, God's presence, love's presence, whatever you want to call it, if that is which only receives value, all we have to do to integrate from shame into sourcing our power in truth, we just have to perceive what value that's providing us, and regret, among all the other things that you can perceive about it that are valuable for your experience, teaching you compassion, teaching you forgiveness. There's so many things that this energy is teaching us. The value is that it's showing you that you are, baseline value is that you're different now, and regret and shame, well, more regret. Regret has shown you that you're already different. Because if there's enough difference between you and what was, you can witness that, have enough distance to perceive it, which means that you're already different. And so the value is receiving, wow, I'm already different, and now I can move forward from this point. But what else is it teaching you? What is the obsession with regret? So just sitting with yourself for a minute, anything that you regret or feel most shame about in your life, bringing that to your awareness. Once you have it clearly within your sense of awareness, feeling, thinking, whatever it is, what virtues is this teaching me for myself and for others? What is my soul learning from this? And you can just sit with yourself right now. It is commanded and requested that I am shown the virtues and values that this is teaching me on a soul level. Show me. So if you can just type in the chat, what are some of the values or virtues that you're learning through whatever it is? Doesn't matter what the thing is, just what are the values and the virtues? Is it self-compassion, forgiveness, perseverance, patience, strength, beautiful, self-forgiveness, realization that it couldn't be any other way, that this was always the destined way of it. Absolutely. Compassion, forgiveness, power, discernment, confidence. Yeah, isn't it funny? Like, I love that you said confidence, because sometimes the things that we feel least confident in about in our life, the things that we've done that make us feel like embarrassed or shameful, when you fully own that power, it actually becomes like confidence. You're like, it's just amazing when you realize that the things that you've been through are there actually adding to the power of your soul versus removing any value from you. It's the difference between seeing things through the mind center and the gut in their integrations. All of those, and not caring what others perceive about me, like laughing at myself and less self-conscious. Exactly. Beautiful. Able to be more self-aware now as never before, and therefore responsible for my own experience. Yes. Yeah, shame is such a powerful tool. And when we realize, for example, this person that was facing a lawsuit, was telling them, I've never transmuted a lawsuit in my lifetime before, but I was like, I'm receiving the information that it's just like a virus. These people who are suing you are emissaries of consciousness that are here to provide you a message. They're here to provide you value. You can feel victim to what they are doing to you in the court, but what is occurring is that they're here to provide you value. So what value is the shame, the embarrassment, the whatever it is that's coming about just by them revealing in court what's occurred? What is that helping you integrate? Responsibility for your own experience, recognizing that these beings that you're saying they're doing this to me are actually your own consciousness holding you to a higher level of intelligence within you that's dawning in this moment, and it's fucking uncomfortable. I get it. But this lawsuit is a symptom of a dis-ease in your life. Everything is just showing you dis-ease. There's nothing wrong or shameful about dis-ease. Actually, what those moments, those experiences are for, are showing us where we're upgrading. So thank you for showing me that I'm upgrading right now. What do I need to complete and integrate this upgrade? You're not getting sick. You're getting upgraded. And when the upgrade is complete, the symptoms no longer need to exist. Again, it's like I remember getting quote unquote COVID and mold poisoning, and by the time I was done meditating on the couch, all the COVID symptoms were gone. When you receive the reasons for what's occurring, there's no reason for them to exist anymore. And it's not like I have some special ability to do this. We all have access to the same intelligent source that we are. I am us, diamond consciousness. What do you need in order to trust that? And if that's what you need, download it. It is commanded and requested that I am downloaded with the understanding, knowing, the possibility that I can live my daily life with trusting myself, with trusting my connection to God, to source, to life. So we're going to do a fun little exercise that just came to my mind right now. Write down, I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to just spend some time and write down all the things that you wish could be different right now. Just even if they're just like one word, like feeling shame about this, or disliking this part, or you know, whatever it is, just kind of like 1 or 2, maybe 3 words related to each little thing. I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. Things that you wish could be different. And next to these things, whatever is the opposite. So if something, you know, whatever you feel is the opposite, you know, if it's something like, oh, like I can't trust myself, obviously the opposite would be trust. So just writing 1 or 2 words next to each of these. That's the opposite. Just giving you a couple more minutes. And just asking yourself, source, show me what I believe that allows me to experience this in relation to the things that you wish were different. What do I believe about life? What I believe about myself, about others. All right. So I placed in the chat simple little command for the beliefs that you came up with related to all these issues. And the command is, it is commanded and requested that the belief, whatever the limiting belief is, be pulled, cleared, and resolved on all appropriate levels of my being and replaced with my soul's highest, best, and healthiest understandings, perspectives, perceptions, and realizations related to whatever the issue is. Thank you, show me. And you sit with each of those. And honestly, it can even be shorter than that. It really doesn't matter. I'm just giving you like the basic premise is you're commanding and requesting the belief, whatever it is, be pulled and cleared and resolved on all levels, and have it replaced with my soul's highest, best, and healthiest. Your soul knows what to do with that information, especially when you're in the context of this class. Your soul knows what it's doing. So just start with those, and I'm going to create the second part. I'm literally creating this right now. So thank you for your patience. Just going through each of the beliefs that have come up. And be sure to witness it. This is the most important part. Witness source shifting this for you. See it in the brain, the body, subconscious. Show me how to see. Show me how to witness a belief being transformed. Some really beautiful releases that you guys are getting here. I'm seeing and feeling it so potently. Just giving you another 5 minutes. If you want to move on to the next thing that's in the chat, take your time. By the way, I have a 100-page document that I created in the last 2 weeks with all kinds of commands. So we're going to get there. We're moving very slowly right now, building a good foundation. Not even, the 100 pages are just prompts. They're not even commands, actually. I have to turn them all into commands. So it's a lot of interior designing that we're going to be doing here. Moving on to the next part of the exercise. It is commanded and requested that I have sources, truth, definition, and value of, insert the positive quality, trait, or emotion, or belief, that I know how, that it's possible that I can live my daily life with blank, and that I am blank. So for example, we'll just do some downloads for you and then you can do your own thing. So asking that these downloads be given to you across all dimensions, time, and space, throughout all languages that you speak or have spoken. It is commanded and requested that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of being loved by God, that you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life being loved by God, and that you are loved by God. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of living without having to suffer, that you know how to live, that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life without having to suffer, and that you are living without suffering. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live without struggling to be close to God. That you know how to live without struggling to be close to God, that it's possible to live without struggling to be close to God, and that you can live your daily life without struggling to be close to God, and that you are living life without struggling to be close to God. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of what it feels like to live without feeling abandoned by God. That you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life without feeling abandoned by God, and that you are living without feeling abandoned by God. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live without feeling rejected by God. That you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life without feeling rejected by God, and that you are that you are living without feeling rejected by God. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live life without feeling that your life was stolen from you. That I know how to live my life without feeling it was stolen from me. That you know how that it's possible, and that you are living life without feeling like it was stolen from you. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live without feeling you must do it all by yourself. That you know how to ask for support, that you can ask for support, that you can live your daily life with the ability to ask for support, and that you do ask for support. It is commanded and requested that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live without feeling overburdened. That you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life without feeling overburdened, and that you are living without feeling overburdened. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of what it feels like to give. That you know how to give, that it's possible to give, that you can live your daily life with giving, and that you are giving. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of what balance feels like. That you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life with balance, and that you are balanced. That you have sources, truth, definition, and value of what it feels like to be balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That you know how that it's possible that you can live your daily life feeling balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and that you are balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Commanded and requested that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of how to live life without being a martyr. That you know how that it's possible that you can live your daily life without being a martyr, and that you are living life without being a martyr. It is commanded and requested that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of what God's love feels like. That you know how that it's possible, and that you can live your daily life feeling God's love, and that you do feel God's love. that you have source's truth, definition, and value of how to live without carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. I know how to live without carrying the weight on my shoulders. I know what it feels like to live without carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know that it's possible to live without carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. I live my daily life without carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I do live my daily life in this way. Just asking that all of these be integrated. So now for whatever words that you wrote down, qualities, traits, beliefs, emotions, it is commanded and requested that I have source's truth, definition, and value of blank, that I know how that it's possible, and that I can live my daily life with blank, and that I am blank. Thank you, show me. If you're feeling confused by anything, remember to ask source, how do I do this? What needs to be done in order for this to be done? How do I witness a transforming of belief? How do I witness a download?
Barrett, may I ask a question around that?
Is it possible if you could write it right now while other people are still in the thing? Yeah, and then I'll answer it for sure. You guys have like 4 more minutes. All right. So, probably designed to be one of the most uncomfortable exercises that we've done. Most in part because it's not necessarily designed to, some of you may have had an easy experience with it, but really what this was to assist you in engaging with, interfacing with, is any sense and perception of not being able to do this. What does that mean? Like, what does it mean I can't, like, I don't know how to pull a belief or clear a belief or resolve a belief, or I don't know what to resolve. I don't know how to hear God. I don't know how to hear source's answers. Where is source? How am I connecting to that? What does that feel like? There's a lot of limiting beliefs that prevent us from connecting to realizing our connection to source and that we are connected to source. So some of you may be feeling almost disempowered by this exercise. But I really want you to understand how to really begin working with your own beliefs, not allowing your beliefs to tell you what you see. So if you don't feel this is how you, because diagnosis, whatever the diagnosis is, doesn't have to be a dis-ease, can just be a like a syndrome, like God doesn't love or respect me, that's why all of these things happen, or I'm not connected to source, other people are connected to source. And like what develops from those thoughts, those feelings, those beliefs. Begin like Sherlock Holmes, looking at everything, like dig deeper than just what you feel or think or sense. If you don't get an answer to something, what would it be like if I did know? What would I hear if I did hear an answer? So just before we kind of open up about what that brought about for us, whether quote unquote positive or negative, whatever it is just designed to expand us in the most efficient way. So if the most efficient path of beginning for you is to feel in lack or deficiency in any way, trust that that is the most efficient path for your development. If it's positive, same. Either way, it's all supporting you. So 2 minutes to just kind of think about whatever came up for you and show me the empowering ways that I can see this. Or just asking yourself, what are the empowering ways that I can see this experience? What is this providing me? What am I learning? Giving you another minute or two. Okay. Hmm. Just whoever wants to share first. Be vulnerable, share what's uncomfortable, because this exercise for most people was uncomfortable. I'll go first. I'll be first. I know what was uncomfortable. What was uncomfortable is uh really having no idea why we were doing this exercise until the end. And then I started to realize, oh, I was like, oh, this is bringing up all the limiting beliefs around connecting to God and being able to command reality and witness and experience your own connection to source and programming your subconscious, your body subconscious, which that in itself is a massive undertaking if you've never done it before. And that's also a belief. But this is simple, it's easy, it's effortless. We're going to do a bunch of downloads to assist in that process and allowing this whole way of interacting with life to be a lot easier. And we'll do this multiple times throughout the entire course. Today, in large part, though, we're starting to dive deeper, and it's going to be triggering. It's going to bring up the deepest, darkest, unmet, limiting beliefs that different aspects of our consciousness feel. And that's okay. And in fact, you're worthy of becoming aware of these things, because by being aware of it, you can actually change it. just commanding and requesting that anywhere and everywhere where you have felt unworthy, shameful, or doubtful in your connection to source, to be pulled, cleansed, cleared, purified, sent back to God's light, and replaced with your soul's highest perspective, perception, realization, and awareness around how every single opportunity, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, where you feel a sense of disconnection or disruption, to feeling balanced and easeful, is exactly when you are increasing the amount of balance, harmony, peace in your body, knowing, feeling, understanding, perceiving, more of your connection to source, and downloading for you that you know what it feels like to live without doubting yourself. And what does doubting yourself mean? It means doubting the God in that particular aspect of you. God is inside everything. It doesn't matter what the manifestation is, a virus, bacteria, a lawsuit, your dog, whatever it is, the way in which you keep doing things that don't feel good to you and that you know that you are going to stop at some point, but keep doing it regardless. That's God too. Feeling bad about anything doesn't help you move forward. And then you feel bad about feeling bad because you're like, oh, I want to stop doing that. I don't know how, and so I just feel bad. It's fine to feel bad. Let yourself feel bad. There's nothing wrong with it. But when we keep trying to add band-aids with I love you or any kind of way of like transforming a feeling, we're just trying to coddle parts of ourselves that are ready to grow up. And the way that they grow up is just by having the consciousness to ask, what's required to have support? The part of us that feels bad is like it gets off on feeling bad. Because at least it gets to feel empowered by feeling bad. It's like, at least I know I feel bad, you know? I'm sure of that. So if I stay in that, I'm powerful. But asking, what do I need to resolve this? And if you don't get any answer, there's really two ways that you can go with that. Trusting that no answer means there's nothing that you need to do. Relax. When it's required that you know more, you'll know more. but often dig deeper underneath that and you'll get an answer. Because usually the non-answer is part of our consciousness trying to protect us, quote unquote, from actually getting to a deeper level of 0 point. Because if we drop below that point of non-answer, there's another answer. And the part of you that's holding on to whatever is unresolved knows that if you get to that answer, it dies. It's integrating into your being. So if a part of me feels there's this like identity of self that has become disconnected from me, if I try and reconnect with that part, that's an unfamiliar part. That's scary sometimes. Who knows what lurks in this part of my consciousness? It's been a long time since I've been connected to it. So there can be these protective mechanisms that come up when we're searching for deeper answers within ourselves. But just trusting that every answer you get is information, even if there is no information. I'm asking if I did know, what would I know? Oh, I don't know. Well, if you did know, what would you know? And usually just that gets you right underneath there. So just thinking about what that brought up for you, what are some of the limiting beliefs that came up? Way that I actually become aware, like last night I was like, yeah, I feel like, or this morning, I forget when, I was like, yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I was like, I feel like it's related to a lot of shame because I'm feeling a lot of like shame, and I'm aware that what I'm feeling is just like, you know, I'm holding this container for us. So I'm going to be feeling a lot of things that aren't necessarily quote unquote mine. They're not yours either. They're just present in what we are transforming as our group soul enters our bodies more than ever before. But how you become aware of the downloads that you can do for yourself is realizing basically the opposite of what you're feeling. So if I'm feeling just like hopeless and like, and you know, downtrodden by life, that's my clue to be like, oh, I'm healing a lot of, you know, exactly that. And then you do downloads for yourself in the opposite. So like, oh, source, like, thank you for downloading me with, you know, source's perspective of feeling inspired, that I know how to feel inspired, when to feel inspired, what it feels like to feel inspired, that I can live my daily life feeling inspired. You know, if does that make sense? Like whatever you're feeling negative about in your life is basically what is it about to heal. And so you can become aware of what's coming ahead by what's clearing out now. So if I'm feeling a lot of shame, then in the future, I'm about to be feeling a lot of self-contentment, self-love, compassion, all of those things. So whatever is clearing out, because let's just step back for a minute and return to, I forget which course that I taught this in, but every negative emotion, quote unquote, negative emotion, is energy that is leaving your energy field as you're feeling it. Every positive emotion is an activation of your energy field. And when you cease to feel that, it's because you're normalized to that frequency. So when you feel joy and the joy seemingly goes away, you have just become the emptiness that contains that amount of joy. You've increased your capacity for joy, and so now it exists as this field. You don't need to feel joy all the time, but people around you that are in your energy field are going to be activated into that level of joy. So if you bring out a lot of joy in others, sometimes what we feel is the opposite, because we're now activating that in others, and we're so fucking psychic that we actually feel the opposite inside ourselves as we're activating that in others. Now, there's downloads you can do that around, like, I don't need to feel what I'm healing in others. That's none of my business. So creating these energetic boundaries. But getting curious, the first step is like removing all personalization. Like, this has nothing to do with you. It's just ways in which we are programmed to believe and interact with life, and that this is, anything can be shifted and changed. Like, really understanding that limitlessness, that you have the capacity to change anything, that you know how to change anything. And that simplicity, or not, like, simplicity is almost like a we desire in some levels complication in order to know that something is happening. Like, we want a process that's like difficult because our life has felt so difficult. So in order for it to be healed, it needs to be as difficult as well. But when you're moving up in octaves, the next octave is more simple than the one before. It's easier, it's more effortless. So that's encapsulating everything that we just gathered. It's a lot of information. The only thing you really ever need to know is, thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved. And I'll write this in the box as well, and it's also in the book, but please, it is commanded and requested that resources, resolution, and rejuvenation of my being for this issue, blank, be sent to me now, greater than I could ever dream of asking to receive for myself. So when you're commanding and requesting that resources, that rejuvenation, that resolution of whatever it is, be sent to me, well, send it to yourself, not me. Be sent to me now, greater than I could ever dream of asking to receive for myself. We have to understand the impact of prayers. The prayers that I'm giving you are not like 99-cent store prayers. Like, these are very powerful, specifically worded for a specific reason, because every prayer is a code. You're coding reality as the I am. I am that. I am all of that. I am us. I am. So you're commanding that the I am in your reality send you resources, resolution, and rejuvenation greater than you could ever dream of asking to receive for yourself. But when you're breaking down what that means, first of all, whatever it is that you want in your life, it is commanded and requested that more truth be sent to me now, greater than I could ever dream of asking to receive for myself. And I'm going to add this part right now with grace, ease, and mercy, for mercy to everything affecting the physical to the ethereal. Okay, so just breaking this down. It is commanded and requested that it doesn't have to be resources, rejuvenation, resolution, whatever you want. Truth, more psychic ability. I've done this so many times. Like, I'm ready. Life, I am ready for greater psychic capacity. Send it to me now, greater than I could ever dream of asking to receive for myself, with grace, ease, and mercy to the physical and all things affecting the physical to the ethereal. The reason for this is A, greater than you could ever dream of asking to receive for yourself. Because if you could imagine asking to receive for yourself, it's already something that you've done in incarnations before. Like, you've already asked for this. It's in your imagination. It's already been imagined. When you're asking for greater than you could ever dream of asking to receive for yourself, you're asking like a chat GPT of the cosmic consciousness. You're asking the organic intelligence instead of the artificial intelligence to the thing that created imagination, to dream up what is greater than could even be imagined thus far, to bring to your reality. So you're asking for the cutting edge of consciousness. You're pushing the boundaries of what is even possible. When I first started doing this prayer, I would just say, I'm ready for more truth. Bring it to my reality now, greater than I could ever dream of asking to receive for myself. And then I would get plowed by life. Because life will give you what you want. If you listen to a lot of the prayers that most people are asking, they're asking to avoid destruction. That's what most people are trying to pray for. They're avoiding destruction. To me, that never made sense, and I understand that it's like a privilege, but I'm just letting you know now that doesn't really work, because life doesn't have an emotion around what's required in order to integrate you in the most efficient way. So if your orientation towards life is to allow and also facilitate the most efficient path towards your soul's integration into human form, then nothing can fucking stop you. Because you are in alignment with life. No amount of self-doubt is going to stop you. No amount of pain, of suffering, of trauma. Nothing can stop you from, but when you really understand this, like, the power that you get to absorb into your being just simply by existing in that alignment, you don't even have to do anything. And Emily was, acknowledging this on such a deep level within her. Like, I've survived all these things. That right there is the seed of the power that I'm talking about. It is recognizing that you have already survived everything that you've gone through. And what I say when people are using practices of loving these small parts of yourselves, what you're doing is coddling pieces that are ready to just fucking grow up. Just grow up. And grow up with love. It's okay that I keep doing these everything is okay. Like we're not trying to move into okayness. The assumption from here on out is that everything is okay. I don't care what you've done. We're starting with okayness. Come exactly as you are. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. But it matters because you are there right now. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter where you are, but it matters because that's where you are. And so start with the smallest amount of okayness that you can find in your reality, but start there. If you're looking for evidence of all the ways in which you aren't safe and okay and good or intelligent or powerful, you're going to find those reasons. But find how you are okay. Find out, show me how I am powerful. Show me how I am psychic. Show me how I am intuitive. Show me how I am connected to God. Language is the quickest way to downgrade or upgrade your life. So how are you speaking about yourself? How are you speaking to the people around you? Don't worry about your thoughts. But if you become aware of a thought pattern, you can speak out loud the opposite if that feels empowering. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Because most of us live in the track in our minds, which is fine. But by the end of this, you're not going to be living in that. Not the end of this class, maybe like the end of the whole course. But although maybe that's just a belief. Maybe that's just a belief. Actually, let's do that right now. Just sitting within yourself. We're going to do this exercise and we're going to take a bathroom break. Speaking out loud for yourself. It is commanded and requested that all old, incongruent, incompatible tracks in my mind that are ready to be released be transformed and sent to the light now. And it is commanded and requested that new tracks of positive, affirming, and loving natures towards myself, others, and all that is possible, known or unknown, for me to relate to. That are in my soul's highest, best, and healthiest to be downloaded, integrated, and embodied completely now. Be done so now. Thank you, show me. And witness, scan your mind. Witness these tracks being pulled. What is being pulled? Witnessing Commanding and requesting that these downloads be given to you, that you know what it feels like to be your own cheerleader, that I know how to be my own cheerleader. I know what it feels like to be my own cheerleader. I know how to cheerlead for myself. I know that it's possible to be my own cheerleader. I have sources, truth, definition, and value of being my own cheerleader. I know how to celebrate myself. I know what it feels like to celebrate myself. I know that it's possible to celebrate myself. I do celebrate myself. I live my daily life celebrating myself. I know how to extract the value from anything. I have sources, truth, definition, and value of being able to extract value from anything. I know that it's possible to extract value from anything. I know how to, when to, what it feels like to extract value from anything. I live my daily life extracting value from everything, and I do live my life extracting value from everything. And I am the value that I am extracting. I am love. I know what it feels like to be love. I know how to be love. I know sources, truth, definition, and value of being love from the highest perspective. I live my daily life being love. I am love. I have sources, truth, definition, and value of being intuitive from the highest perspective. I have sources, truth, definition, and value of being psychic from the highest perspective. Commanding and requesting that all beliefs, ideas, conclusions, understandings, perspectives, and perceptions related or associated to being psychic and intuitive being bad, that being a healer is bad, that healing yourself is bad, that healing myself is bad, healing others is bad, that healing the world is bad, that being psychic is evil, that speaking my truth gets me in trouble, asking that all of these be released, cleared, and removed from all appropriate levels and replaced with your soul's highest, best, and healthiest understandings, perspectives, perceptions, and realizations directly from your soul's connection to source. Sodas? Okay, just have like 2-3 minutes to grab a glass of water, use the restroom, and then we'll continue with sharing, and then we'll do the exercises, and then I think that's it. Yeah, it's all related to this sort of like distance. Much of what we're going to do here in a bit is like pulling all these ideas of distance between ourself and God. Like when you're praying to God, you're really like praying to self. That I mean, you're still in relation to it, but it's within you. It's the beauty of the connection with all that is around you. And sometimes the way that we can understand how we're relating to ourselves is through the perception of God. So I don't know how to be in connection with God is really, I don't know how to be in connection with myself. And then from there, that's just information. Okay, like how can I connect to myself? How am I connected to myself? show me what is the best way that I need. Like, you're speaking to yourself, like, how can I begin to nourish myself, my own relationship with life, with myself, with God is like this interwoven energy with everything. It's not like a specific entity that is like, we're relating to as like this outside thing that has all these judgments of us and is observing and watching us really closely. um yeah. And yeah, that's all that I have to say on that right now. And the being a bad person, right? That is such like a core of the core of many of our beings, because it's literally what the encoding for this entire reality has come from, this sense of separation from God, which is impossible, but it's also what's allowed us to experience this reality where there's different beings. The separation is what we wanted to experience, but then the further that we went into the experiment of separation, the further away from each other we became, because it was on purpose. We wanted to experience individuation, but now we're closing this gap in consciousness and returning to a collectivized consciousness that's going to bring up all the quote unquote failures and insecurities and self-doubts, because we can't do it alone. We're meant to do it together. In the future, there's going to be things that require us to be in community. Life is requiring us to come together in ways. And so that's why when we're trying to do it ourselves, when we're putting all that pressure on I need to be, for example, like, I don't know how to be a person, right? That's like the requirement of needing to get your stuff together so that you can, live and do your life according to whose standards. And not saying that the things that we don't feel good about don't need to change, but the reason why they need to change can also change. That I get to relate to my life in a way that's healthy for me, and that if it's healthy for me, it's going to be healthy also for the community. That I don't have, instead of the opposite way where I have to be a contributing member to the community in a way that's like putting all the effort on just showing up to daily life on the individual. Even if the only other person that you're connecting with is source. Like, I don't need to be the only person that puts all this weight on myself. Like, I can share that weight with the community, not in a way that's like detrimental, and we're not trying to be detrimental, like we're burdening others. There can be that quality to it. But celebrating our togetherness. Hey, like, if you were just as if you were talking to a friend, like, do you have any ideas of how I can better do this? And part of just sharing with source or friends or whatever is releasing that shame. It's one of the most powerful ways that we can release shame, is just sharing it. So to support, that's like from shame to support. That's basically the dynamic that we're working with here. And speaking of support, I wrote about this earlier. If you're feeling unsupported by life, minerals are the #1 way to bring that in, because minerals are related to feeling supported. So if you feel unsupported, and when we feel unsupported, we tend to go towards shame, because shame is isolation, and how we go into feeling like the more separated and alone we feel, the more shame has a capacity to thrive. So wherever and however you can share your shame, even if it's just with a journal page, is already opening up to support, because you're expressing something and getting it outside of you, which allows you to have that reflection, even if it's with yourself. And that's honestly why all of us exist together, is because we have the reflection of ourself in others. So there's all these different ways that we can achieve the same result. You don't necessarily need quote unquote other people in order to process something, but still we're designed to be in community and sharing, and allowing yourself to receive that support and noticing how that shifts things for everyone is really beautiful, because it is that lightness that you're feeling is that energy of support. So super beautiful. All right. Well, just taking a moment to drop into yourself. Taking a few breaths as if you could breathe into the bottoms of your feet. When we're doing this command work, it's important, at least at first, to really relax and drop in. And just saying to yourself, it is commanded and requested that I be taken to the 0 point of source within. Show me. And just repeating after me, it is commanded and requested that all influences, conscious, subconscious, and in the body subconscious, related or associated in any way to any media, TV, music, pornography, advertising, or any other form of indoctrination propaganda, and any and all consensus realities received by any of these means or any other way that is incompatible and incongruent to my soul's direct connection to source, be cleansed, cleared, purified, sent back to God's light, and replaced with my soul's sovereign template and my highest, best, and healthiest beliefs, ideas, understandings, perceptions, and perspectives at this time. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. And just witness. And if anyone would like to share their experience with that. First time I did this was really, really potent. Part of this can also be pulling from the gut, so just being aware that sometimes where we hold the most subconscious programming isn't in the mind, the brain, but in the gut. Pulling, releasing, clearing, cleansing. All shame related to any media that's been absorbed. Sometimes our body can't tell the difference between something that we've done or something that we've seen on TV. It's pulling, releasing, cleansing, clearing. All sexual shame that's been absorbed from any content. Any abuse of women. Violence. Pulling all of these also from the gut. All programming related or associated to women, how women should be, what women are, what women are like. Pulling from the ovaries. Commanding and requesting that this be replaced with unconditional love and light. Pulling from the masculine, all distortions. In all media related to the masculine. Assumptions of violent behavior. Machismo. All beliefs, ideas, attachments, imprinting related to being a warrior, a tough guy. That have been absorbed through media, pulling, cleansing, clearing, purifying. Replaced with unconditional love and light. Commanding and requesting specifically that all associations of normalcy in regards to relating to other human beings romantically, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, that are incompatible and incongruent with your own soul's template, in connection to source, that have been absorbed by any form of media, be cleansed, cleared, purified, and sent back to the light and replaced with only your soul's truth and the highest, best, and healthiest understandings, perspectives, and realizations related to how your soul wants to embody and relate to others. Thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. Show me. Just going to your connection to source. Imagining all of that light bathing your body. Raising the frequency of all the cells in your body. And opening your eyes when you're ready. This is literally, this is belief work. This is what belief work looks like. And this is how belief work changes your life. Because it's really just changing relationships. Everything is about relationships. So if my relationship if something doesn't feel good, it's basically just telling you there's something off in my relationships. So if the way that I'm thinking about something, feeling something, whatever, it's just signaling that something is off. It's really how I've ever done anything. I'm just like curious. And you have to be curious with the assumption that nothing is wrong with you. That's the main point, because you can be curious without that understanding and it can go very sour very quick. You start blaming yourself. What's wrong with me? Like, no, oh my God. You have to assume that nothing is wrong with you and that it means nothing about you, and that you are coming into the physical form, and as you're coming in, it's pushing out all these things that do not resonate with you. And then you can become curious from that point, like how, yeah. So anyways, we're just taste testing everything right now. All right, anyone else? Or we're gonna go to pulling all misunderstandings about God. Choo. All right. And just taking a few deep, slow inhales and exhales, as if you could breathe through the bottoms of your feet. Take me to the 0 point of source within. Take me to the 0 point that I am. It's another way you can say it. It's commanding and requesting. I'm just going to do this one for you guys right now. It is commanded and requested that any and all influences on any layer or level of your being, from physical to ethereal, related or associated to anyone else's understanding, belief, perception, realization, relationship with the energy of God, be released, cleansed, cleared, purified, sent back to the light, and replaced only with your soul's direct connection to source. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. Commanding and requesting that all religious texts, spiritual information, all related or associated spiritual beliefs, ideas, perceptions, realizations, understandings, that are incongruent and incompatible to your soul's direct connection to source, be pulled, released, cleansed, cleared, resolved on all appropriate levels, sent back to God's light and replaced with only your soul's direct connection to source. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. Commanding and requesting that any and all incompatible and incongruent patterns, conflicts, tracks of emotions related or associated to God that are incompatible and incongruent to source's perspective of God in direct connection to your soul's connection to source, be resolved, cleared, and pulled from all aspects of your brain and central nervous system, replacing it all with God's peace, God's love, God's understanding, God's compassion, mercy, grace, and ease. Asking that all receptors for distortions about God to be closed, and opening up the receptors for your unique connection to source, to God, to life, to love in a way that makes sense for you. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. It's commanded and requested that any shame or perception of judgment that we've received from allegedly God, from the church, in this lifetime or in any lifetime, be pulled, cleansed, cleared, purified, sent back to the light, and replaced with Source's unconditional love and light. It's commanding and requesting that all moments of religious persecution, whether as the victim or the victimizer, contained within your genetic history, on your core soul or historical levels, be resolved, cleansed, cleared, purified on all appropriate aspects from all layers and levels of your being, physical to ethereal, transformed in the light and replaced with unconditional love and light. Thank you, Sun, show me. Commanding and requesting that all old vows, contracts, oaths, promises, links, bonds, related to any service in the spiritual field, whether as a spiritual teacher, a spiritual student, in an ashram, in any denomination of Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, all known or unknown, remembered or forgotten, discovered or undiscovered, religious or spiritual sects, identities in this lifetime or any lifetime that are incongruent and incompatible to your soul's direct connection to source at this time, be cleansed, cleared, purified, and released and sent back to the light and replaced with your soul's truth, connection, and relationship with God, with source, with life, with love, with all that is in the highest, best, and healthiest way for you now. Thank you, Sun, show me. Demanding and requesting that the belief I have to be perfect to be loved by God be pulled, released, cleansed, cleared, purified, and sent back to God's light and replaced with unconditional love and light. It's commanding and requesting that the belief, the identification, the attachment, the overlay, the experience, the feeling, knowing, seeing, perceiving through any senses released from all aspects of your bio-human computer, the belief, the program in original sin, asking that this be pulled, released, scraped clean from all aspects, known or unknown, discovered or undiscovered, from physical to ethereal, sent back to Creator's light and replaced with your soul's highest, best, and healthiest understandings, perspectives, perceptions, realizations, awarenesses, embodiments, and integrations related and associated to the energy of original innocence. Thank you, it's done, show me. Just commanding and requesting that any distance between you and God, between you and source, between you and spirit, between you and the creator of all that is, in any language that you speak or have spoken, that is ready to be closed, eliminated, and reduced to zero now. Be closed, removed, and reduced to zero now. Thank you. It is done. It's done. It's done. Show me. And just speaking out loud for yourself, it is commanded and requested that I am shown on all levels the truth of my being as it is to be revealed to me now for my highest, best, and healthiest. Thank you. Show me. Can we download for you the similarities and differences between being relaxed and being alert? That you know how to be relaxed and alert simultaneously? That you know what it feels like to be relaxed and alert simultaneously? That it's possible to be relaxed and alert simultaneously? And that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of being relaxed and alert simultaneously from the highest perspective. One final thing, just commanding and requesting that any resonance in your being, specifically within the spinal column, vibrating, resonating, associating reality in any way with old stories, the fall of Atlantis, any fears related to World War III, any projections or imprints from programming related or associated to the continuation of war culture, of using spiritual righteousness in order to continue war. Asking that all of these memories be resolved on all appropriate levels to completion, sent back to Creator's light and replaced with unconditional love and light. Thank you to Sun, show me. All right, coming back to center. If you would like to share anything about that experience, just type something in the chat or unmute yourself. Yeah, I'm curious of the last little bit. I was like feeling like these like old stories of like constant conflict, like this held in the spinal column. Let's see. All right. You're still moving through all of that. I think I'm actually gonna leave. I told you guys that I was gonna do a bunch of downloads around being able to perceive, receive, understand the subconscious in a way that's easier. But I'm actually gonna save that until next class. But what I do want to do is actually sink deeper into like scanning the body, being able to read yourself, or read a client. But for now, just reading yourself. So let's start with some downloads around that. Commanding and requesting that you have the abilities, the know-how to scan yourself, that you know what it feels like to scan yourself, that you know how to scan yourself, that it's possible to scan yourself, that you have sources, truth, definition, and value of scanning yourself, that you can scan yourself easily and effortlessly, that you know what it feels like to scan yourself easily and effortlessly, that you know how to let information come to you in the ways that make sense to you, that you know how to perceive the information that's coming to you, that you know how to hear, feel, that you can trust the information that you receive, that you know how to read and scan your body and the body of another, that you know what it feels like to scan your body, that you have the clarity and understanding of the information that you pick up on, That you know what it feels like to dig deeper into the information that you receive in order to receive more information. That you know how to trust this information. That you know how to easily translate the information that comes to you. That you know how to work with the information that comes to you. What it feels like that it's possible to work with the information that comes to you. And that you know how to ask Source when you don't know. That you know how to commune with Source in order to create healing in whatever you scan and receive information about in your body or the body of another. That you know what to do with this. That it's possible to make changes subconsciously in yourself and in others. That it's possible to receive instant healing, that you know how to receive instant healing, that you know what it feels like to receive instant healing, that you have Source's truth, definition, and value of instantly healing. That you have a foundational understanding of how to work with unresolved energies in your being, that you know how to work with Source to resolve energies in your being, that you know what it feels like to work with Source to resolve energies in your being, that it's possible to work with Source and resolve energies in your being, and that you do work with Source and resolve energies in your being. That you know how to command upgrades for yourself, that you know what it feels like to command upgrades for yourself, that it's possible to command upgrades for yourself, that you do command upgrades for yourself, and that you can live your daily life effortlessly and easily commanding upgrades for yourself, that you know when to upgrade, how to upgrade, what it feels like to upgrade, that it's possible to upgrade, that it's easy and effortless in your daily life to upgrade, and the Source's truth, definition, and value of upgrading. That you know how to easily perceive, witness, and receive, understand, and apply the upgrades in your life, and that you do this easily and effortlessly in your daily life. You know what it feels like, that it's possible, that you can. And so the steps will simply be, take me to the 0 point. And from that still point space, I want you to say it is commanded and requested. I'll say it really quick first. It is commanded and requested that I scan my own heart and receive the highest qualities of my being now. Thank you. It is done, it's done, it's done. Show me. So just beginning with qualities, it is commanded and requested that I scan my own heart and receive 3 positive qualities about it. Thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. Show me. And now from here, since we're talking today a lot about support, it is commanded and requested that I scan my body and know what areas can use more support and show me how to support those areas. Thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. Show me. All right. How was that for you? Was it comfortable? Was it difficult to scan your body? Did you get a reading? Did you not get a reading? Anything is okay. It's not, even if you got nothing, it's fine.
I had sort of an interesting experience. You said that scan your heart and 3 words that come up, or 3 qualities.
Mm.
I I guess things come to me, like you said, like a clairaudient way. I always just have like things just drop in, like whole words,
Yep.
out of
Exactly.
nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And the word that dropped in immediately was blissful, which was like kind of like, wait, what? You know? Like not a word that I feel applies to me too often, right? Or at least my experience in the last number of years. Blissful. And I was like, okay. And then like more words came, like, wise, courageous, benevolent. But blissful kept coming back in, like, oh yeah, blissful. You better bet. Blissful. Like it was very insistent.
Yep.
And even though that made no sense to me, it was just like, Oh yeah, definitely. Like you need to receive this or something. You know what I mean? Like it was just
Mhm.
very insistent whether I agreed with it or not. So
That's so
I-
amazing because that quality of you, right? If sometimes when we do these scans, we get like a quality that we don't even, we're like, wait, what? It's so counter to who we've assumed ourselves to be. But
yeah.
that's the shifting of the orientation from what you bring to the world and what you're clearing out of the world. So
Mm,
if you are blissfulness and you're coming in, your soul is that blissfulness coming into physical form. It's going to push out of reality all that isn't in resonance with what you are. So
yeah.
if so understanding that difference, like between what I'm feeling, and what I'm activating, but there's this closing of the gap that occurs as you realize, like, oh, I was just playing out the energy that I was actually clearing out, thinking it was me. And then you get to
Hmm.
start to exist and embody that blissfulness. And yeah, so this is today's been really, really amazing for you. It's so cool to see. Anyone else? All right, yeah. So homework is really, yeah, complete anything with the hate letter. But things that you could do with the hate letter that we did last week is going through and figuring out what was the value of those experiences. What was I learning from whatever I hated about myself? What are the positive opposite qualities of that that I'm trying to learn or grow from, or just kind of dig into it. And really, I mean, this is more for you to explore right now, um, with with these greater capacities and connections to source, to God. Show me source's perspective of this situation. What is source's perspective? um and show me how to close the gap between my perspective and source's perspective. um Help me resolve whatever needs to be resolved here. So that's one thing that you can do. The other piece is continue with the scans. Show me anywhere in my body that, hold on a second. So we can look at the positive qualities, of course, and if you feel brave, and if you don't, just download bravery. Show me how to be brave. Show me that I can be brave. Show me that I know how to look at the uncomfortable things and it's okay. Show me any limiting beliefs that are operating in my field that are ready to be resolved now. And show me how to resolve them and what I need to download in order for those to be resolved. Show me what I can work on and through for my highest, best, and healthiest at this time. Just keep things very simple. So whether it's every day, just going to the 0 point, and then from there asking, show me anything that's ready to be resolved now. It's funny, I say that and my stomach is like, it's time to eat. And I'm like, that does need to be resolved now. Sometimes it can be that simple, literally, you know? So just taking this with you, play with it. If you feel like it's not playful, don't. Download that you know how to be playful. I know what it feels like to be playful with this. I know how to play and grow. I know how to grow and play simultaneously. I know what it feels like. I know that it's possible. I can live my daily life in play and growth simultaneously. I know the similarities between play and growth, and I know how to live with that in my daily life. Owning the power that you have to download the support that you need to be supported by in any moment, whatever you're feeling that feels off, or like, do some downloads for yourself. It's downloaded, like if I'm feeling frustrated on, like sometimes I'm even doing it in like Costco, you know, like I'll say, give me the most efficient, show me whatever I need that is going to upgrade my life in the highest, best way that I couldn't even imagine receiving right now. And like, I'll be pulled to like different things that I would have never thought of, and then be like, oh my God, this could be used for that. That'll make my life so much easier. Oh my God, thank you, you know? You can play with it. This is your relationship to your connection to source. And you are, through this program, becoming an interior designer. You're a geneticist, you're a computer programmer, and the computer is your bio computer. So whatever you want to reprogram, you can reprogram, knowing that, understanding that, feeling that, experiencing that, and living your daily life with that, with grace and ease, across all layers and levels of your being, from physical to ethereal, and trusting yourself and trusting the fun that you can have with this. But spend the next 2 weeks doing that however often you enjoy. Next class will not be at 9 a.m. I am not doing 9 a.m. That is not, it's not gonna work for me. So 10 a.m. Hawaii time, so noon Pacific. Not this Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. So 2 weeks from now. And does Telegram work for everyone as far as like group messaging in between? Does that work? Okay. And I'll send you an email with a link for that, so we can all be connecting in that way in between. You can ask me questions. Everyone can see the answers, and it'll be fun and cute. All right. Well, I love you guys so much, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Aloha.
Thank you, Barrett.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'll stay on for a couple minutes if anyone wants to say anything, but